Back in high school, I used to hate myself to the point where I wanted to kill myself. Why I say that is because I used to dread the way I looked like every single morning, every single day, every single night. I used to go into class and put myself in a hoodie, and the teacher would yell at me telling me to put my hoodie down, but I wouldn't because I hated the way I looked. And I hated what people would see what I looked like. I used to go inside the hallways and put myself inside that same hoodie, and I'll use it as a cover to curl myself over so people wouldn't look at me. I hated myself and I hated the person I was. It was until I decided to change my looks to the point where I went from a sub-5 to a 7 out of 10 overall that my life started to change for myself. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did to do that. The first thing I knew that I had to do was to change my appearance as a whole. How I did that was I needed to get lean, or at least lean enough to the point where I was able to see what my face actually looked like. And the way I did that was doing a calorie deficit. Now, what I mean by calorie deficit is I need you to figure out your caloric intake, maintenance, and your deficit. What I mean by caloric intake is how many calories do you take in per day. Caloric maintenance is how many calories do you need to maintain your specific body weight right now. And your deficit is how many calories do you have to take off for you to be lean, for you to get leaner. What I found out that worked best for me was I was around 2,800 calories per day. So I decided to slash off at least 300 of those to make myself around 2.5 to 2.6 thousand calories that I'll consume every single day. And from that point, I'll keep decreasing calories to the point where I was getting leaner and I wasn't hitting a plateau. So as I was getting leaner, my face was starting to improve and my facial symmetry was deciding to improve as well. I didn't look like a blobfish anymore because why? I shaved off the fat that I had around myself, and that was how I did that was by getting lean. The second thing that I had to do was to improve my overall structure and frame. And that was not just, oh, I improved my face and that's all I do. I go from like sub-5 goblin to I'm the best man in the world. No, you have to improve your structure, your frame, and what does that mean? Your physique. So what did I do was I got inside the gym. While I was also doing the first step of also being in a calorie deficit, I was also adding more protein into my meals so I can build up more muscle while resistance training so I can keep the muscle that I built. And overall, that's how I was able to build a V-tapered physique. The V-tapered physique is your bread and butter if you want to be perceived as attractive in today's society. What I mean by that is the halo effect. What is the halo effect? The halo effect is how people perceive you, and do they like what they see or do they don't like what they see? The halo effect for women is the hourglass body. Is when you see the curve in her waist, that's where you perceive her as attractive. She's an attractive female. For men, for us, that is the V-taper physique, where you have high traps, big shoulders, a big back, and a skinny waist, or a slimmer waist. And the last thing that I did that brought the whole thing together was walking. Yes, walking is boring. I know you just dropped. I know you just decided. I know your attention just went elsewhere just now. But yes, it is walking. By getting 10K steps per day, I was able to further my deficit and further stave off the calories that I needed to consume so I can further be lean, so I can help myself further my physique to be lean. By walking every single day and at least hitting 10K steps minimum, I was able to achieve my physique. I hope you understand that walking is one of the best things for you to do in order for you to get lean naturally. I'm not talking about taking Retta. I'm not talking about taking peptides. I'm not talking about bow smashing. I'm talking about you are look smashing the best way possible without taking drugs, without taking enhancers, and getting there faster in the most healthiest way. And that's by walking. You do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it, to get the result that you want. That's it. My name is Bo, and I'll see you later.